Hi, welcome once again to Femi Oguntayo Unfiltered podcast. My guest today is a dynamic force whose life's work blends youth empowerment, transportation innovation, and purposeful leadership. A devoted Christian and youth pastor, he is deeply committed to shaping lives and raising the next generation of leaders. From his early days building houses to now owning one of the biggest driving schools in Ekiti State, Nigeria, he has built an impressive footprint. He is the visionary behind his Wisdom Driving School, Nigeria Limited, a forward-thinking initiative pushing boundaries in driver education, including effort towards establishing Nigeria's first gender-focused driving school. His impact extends beyond the road, and he takes drivers' education to the airwaves through radio, television, and social media with his Driving School on Air program. But the story doesn't stop there. He is actively involved in agriculture, mobility services like metro taxi and mobile campuses, and the buying, selling, and swapping of vehicles in and around Ekiti State. As a certified NYSSI trainer, he continues to equip and help young Nigerians with practical skills for self-reliance after study. In leadership and service, he has won several awards: teacher, youth developer, Red Cross officer, director of finance for the Nigerian Legion, former treasurer of the Ekiti State Driving School Association, and training officer with ICPC and NAVC. Academically, his journey reflects depth and dedication, with qualifications spanning technical school, NCE, Polytechnic University, and master's degree in cultural tourism. He is a researcher in tourism and theological training from IBTC at Anchor University. As an author, he has shared his insight through impactful books such as 7 Goals to Success, which was published in 2008, his book Driving Code, published in 2016, and upcoming titles such as Car Mover or Good Driver, a panacea to Amazophobia. A man driven by purpose, impact, and discipline. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. Please join me as I welcome to the podcast Mr. Sunday Olamiju Afolabi.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, my brother. You're welcome.
I would just want to start by saying that we all know that you have successfully built, a thriving business in the Ekiti State that is even expanding further now, even beyond the shores of the state. As a successful businessman who is also still expanding, what would you say your experience is like having a business or doing business in a state like Ekiti as a whole?
Thank you, my brother. I am Sunday Olamiju Afolabi, and I thank God for how God has been helping me. Well, to start with, every success of man in life is anchored by something. And I want to tell you, every man has backup. My backup for whatever I've achieved so far is God Almighty. That does not say that I did not have input. Because if we just tell the youth, you can succeed with God and God alone. They may misinterpret it by going to church or staying indoor, believing miracle will happen. God has been so faithful. I am successful because I am saved. Because he saved me. I am a Christian. But by the grace of God, when I met Jesus at a tender age as a youth, he told me that I need to walk with my end, with the teachings I had in the church and that I am still listening to, and not that alone, with the knowledge I gather from successful people. And I discovered that being in Ekiti State, like some people will say, where is Ekiti? What is the location? How big is the state? It's because they don't really know what the state means. I start by finding out the interpretation, the definition of the name Ekiti, and to know how I can also function there. Ekiti, E-K-I-T-I, simply means internal king is their instructor. So since I allow him to instruct me, to direct me, succeeding in Ekiti State will not be a problem. And like you said, that has now been of help to me, that my success by knowing him to function well and do well in business in Ekiti State is not limited to geographical location of Ekiti State, that I can launch out and make good success. And that is why all other businesses I'm introducing with the one he led me to that I start with, and as he's leading me along way, I'm extending them. By the grace of God, we are covering the southwestern Nigeria now. Not that alone, as we are launching out, looking at the whole country Nigeria, even right where you are, my brother, if you hold your phone and Google is Wisdom Driving School, anywhere in the world, you can see us and what we are doing. So the whole global world is our scope, and we are doing something by the grace of God.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. And we all know without God, there's nothing we can actually achieve. And I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge God in all the things you've succeeded in doing. And thank you also for sharing that. And secondly, I would say that recently there's been this news about Ekiti State being reportedly in the top 10 nationally for the ease of doing business ranking. How would you raise that assessment? Would you say, I'm sure you've also been to some other states, maybe in the association of people in the line of your business, and what they talk about in their own states. How would you rate the ease of doing business in Ekiti State as someone who is also one of the top businessmen in Ekiti?
I would say Ekiti State as a state is a golden opportunity for the creative mind. Being one of the latest created states in Nigeria, people feel it's a small state. But for those that are really wise, they know it's an opportunity. It's a golden opportunity, security-wise, because there is nowhere business can thrive without peace and security. Security-wise, in Nigeria of today, we know Ekiti State, we are not having much problem about security. And not that alone, coming up with good idea in a new place like Ekiti State, you can thrive. I will quickly tell you this story. 2 people were sent to sell shoes in 2 states. According to the story I had, the same numbers of shoes, the same types of market. But when they got there, one complained it will not work. The other one said, since they are not using shoes in this place, I will know how I will package my business, introduce to them, advertise to them, and make more sales. Even before selling, he sent back home, please send more copies and pairs of shoes for me because I know there will be market here. So for the creative mind, Ekiti State is golden opportunity. There is peace relatively in the area of security, and telling people, I have the only driving school on radio and television in Ekiti State. By the grace of God, I go on Google, I use WhatsApp, I use Facebook, I use all these opportunity to tell people in that immediate environment about what I am doing. And by the grace of God, I will tell you, as long as I am a trained governor's son in Ekiti State, in the business I am doing, I've trained Oba's sons and daughters, especially the chairman, the former chairman of all Obas in Ekiti State. I trained his son. Notable kings in Ekiti State, I train their daughters and sons. I train governor's sons. So it's an opportunity. Whatever you are doing in a state, a peaceful, a new state like Ekiti State, when you know how to package, to advertise it, telling the people what they don't know about your business, they learn it, then that make patronage to be on increase.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I know you have one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, driving school in Ekiti State right now. Can you explain the vision and operations of your business is Wisdom Enterprise to listeners that may be unfamiliar with the organization? What is Wisdom Enterprise? Because I know it's not just about the driving school alone. It's a body of several businesses.
Thank you so much, my brother. Like I said earlier, I was a very young boy. I met Jesus Christ. He preached Jesus to me, and I gave my life to Jesus Christ. He led me into business, and he told me categorically that I should go and learn bricklayer. So, and I went ahead, being a son of his chief, a nice chief in my town. My mother was a petty trader. It wasn't financial problem, but he led me and I obeyed. So when I left the job, he took me to the city of Ekiti. I became a contractor. By the grace of God, as I'm talking, I built in all the 3 senatorial districts of Ekiti State. So when I started that building business, I have to consult God. This business have to be registered. what should the name be and how do I run it? Then he told me I should register with the name of God, God's wisdom. But my pastor that time has a business, a video coverage and a photo business. The name of his company is God's Wisdom Photo. So when I got to him, I prayed to God and God led me this way. He told me, and I said, God told me the future is bright. Part of the future we have today. That is more than 2 decades ago. So I told him, this is what God told me. The man said, he also have great future. Thank God, a good man of God. He said, he also believe greatness with that name. I have to go back to the drawing board, to Calvary, talk to Jesus. And he now told me, the name remain his name. I am that I am, is God, is. So he now gave me the name is, that is his own wisdom. That is how we come about his wisdom. That time, I told you I learned Bricklayer. It was a construction company. It became his wisdom building construction company.
Okay.
And I was running that all around all the 3 senatorial districts of Ekiti State. To the extent that God helped me as a young man, I built the house for the JAM coordinator Ekiti State that time. That's back 2004. By the grace of God, I built Deeper Life Campus Fellowship State Headquarters in Ado Ekiti. I built in Ikogosi, in Iluomoba, all the 3 senatorial districts. It was the proceed of the business, the bricklaying job, that one day after my prayer, the Spirit of God told me that I'm giving you a car. And he gave me B2, old Volkswagen. And when he gave it to me, I was not really happy because I don't like anything too dull, but I have to agree with the Spirit of God. And coming in agreement, he paid for the car. Holy Spirit led me, helped me, paid for the car. But the shame of using Volkswagen too dull, he now told me that you don't need to entertain any shame, any fear. Go to Sabaka, go and write the same name is Wisdom Building Construction Company. Just write is Wisdom Driving School. Jesus is my mentor in the driving school business. So I went to Sabaka, I wrote the name, they placed it on sticker, I placed it on the 2 sides of the car. And that's how people were coming to me. So you can't begin to teach people what you don't know. I have to go online, learn about driving, make some copies of papers, do photocopies, study it, see how they run business, driving school business. Then I started, and people started coming, and I have to beef up the paper, make handout. And by the grace of God, as of today I'm talking to you, apart from that, more than a decade, God helped me to write this book, Driving Code.
Driving Code, yeah.
In line with the business. After that, of recent, he has helped me to also produce other 2 books in line of the business. One is Car Mover. Car mover or a good driver, because I discover many people move car from Lagos to Ibadan to Kano. They do not go to driving school. They don't know the nitty-gritty of driving. So I was there to write about this so that you be a good driver, not just a car mover. And not that alone. Now in Nigeria of today, before you can get driver license, you have to write CBT or DTT. DTT in VIO's office, driving theory test, or CBT with the road safety computer-based test on driving. So I was also led to write this book, Amasophobia. All panacea to Amasophobia, fear of driving, solution to fear of driving. So by the grace of God, I listened to him, he helped me, he gave me the name, His Wisdom. So it now becomes His Wisdom Building Construction Company, His Wisdom Driving School, His Wisdom, all other businesses is adding to it. As I am talking to you, by the grace of God, I've been able to prove that I'm a driving school owner, in fact, a foremost driving school in Ekiti State by the grace of God. And I've been able to prove I have a building construction company by his help or by his permission. Not that alone, by the way I talk and with the evidences in my hands also.
Yeah, also.
By the grace of God, apart from other little businesses, is growing. So the name is Wisdom, now become an empire. It's Wisdom Business Empire. In which we have His Wisdom Driving School, we have His Wisdom Building Construction Company, we have the literature aspect, we have other little things we are doing. In fact, because Ekiti State is an agrarian state, I'm also into farming business. We have landed property for the driving school, we have landed property for farming business. That is how far God is helping us.
Yeah, I know one of your books sometimes get recommended to drivers even when they go for their FRSC training and all that, which is the first one you introduced, driving driving
The
code.
driving code.
Yeah, it's been a huge
The
success
Senator of
too.
Federal Republic of Nigeria during the launching call it Bible on the road.
Yes,
Senator
yes,
Bola then call
yeah.
it Bible on the road.
I've read it. It's a book that I've read myself, and I can say for sure it's really rich and really helps a lot when you're trying to learn how to drive.
Thank you for being part of this
Yes,
development.
yes. I mean, the driving school vision division of your business has been a significant success. There's no doubt about it. I know for sure it's the number one in Ekiti State. And you've spoken about how God has helped you and how you followed His instructions and all that. But I know when it comes to doing businesses, every business comes with its own challenges. The physical challenges. When we talk about the spiritual, we know God is very important, but also the physical challenges that comes with it, the economic challenges that comes with it. What would you say are these challenges, and how were you able to walk around it to stand out and continue
Well,
to
thank
be
you,
a
my brother.
leading driving school in the state?
Thank you so much, my brother, about challenge. I remember 2020, I was being interviewed by Nigeria Tribune, and everything I said that time, convincing Nigeria that my target is to make sure we have qualified drivers on the road. Then I was asked the same question, that what can I call a problem or challenge facing my business? Ordinarily, in the world of economy, what people will say is finance. But me, I don't see it that way. I see it as God that giveth vision, also make provision. Because I was not this yesterday. So if you can take me to where I am today, I don't need to begin to cry about money and capital for tomorrow. Like the book I showed you now, some of it not yet launched. I'm not waiting for people to come and be donating money. We call it public presentation. We present it to the world for safety of people on the road. So people will say money issue. The only thing I can say is been a challenge is that labor is mobile. This is business that centers on the thick population of the youth. And we also need the youth to run the business. You can't begin to tell about 75, 80 to come and be your teacher in active sector of a business that you need young people to drive or children. So some of the youth we are using, you discover today they are with you 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Some other time they also relocate because labor, according to economics, they are mobile. But at the same time, God has also given us wisdom to tackle that problem. I am one of the trainer of NYSC Side section in Ekiti State. So we are teaching them how to go to their state and make fortune through driving school business. We also apply to get youth active among NYSC members to serve with us in the school, advertisement department, teaching department, admin office. So by the grace of God, he that giveth vision, make provision. I would say there is no really problem. The only thing is that life itself is a challenge, but God is with us. Is that in the world you have affliction, but be of good cheer. I overcome the world. I'm contented. I believe God.
I know you mentioned Saeed and how you've trained NYC core members on how to start businesses like this. I've also been opportune to be part of your team, where we went to train some core members on how to do this business, and I must say it was really great. And it's really something that if they take very seriously, can really help them on the long run in their life. And I must commend you for doing that, because I know it's not something that actually pays physically a lot, but I know on the long run it's going to come back to pay, because these people, when they eventually become big businessmen in their own way, I know they will remember there was one man in Ekiti that trained them and put them on that line. And talking about business, training new entrepreneurs, what is the single most important piece of advice that you would offer a young entrepreneur that is about to start a business right now? Any business, not just driving school. Because as a successful businessman, you've said you have a lot of businesses. What is that single most important advice? Or maybe let's say not single, but some piece of advice that you will give someone who is about to start a business?
My response will be very, very funny. Because like the word we talk about, money, skill, training, it may be a bit different. What I would say to any young people that want to start any business and want it to grow, learn first to create a vacuum. That's the answer. Like that thing you want to step into, because as I'm talking to you, I will have been a successful garri seller in Ekiti State. And I know if I continue that time by now, my garri, they will be exporting it to outside countries. There was an holiday I had, and I came home that day as a bricklayer. There is no job that day to go, no site to go. Then what I decided was that I can't wake up an able-bodied man and start roaming the street. I carried a bag with hoe and cutlass, with maize, dry maize in the bag. And I went to a place along Gafar Road. I told people there, please, can you excuse me to use a small portion of your land? They said, go ahead. That same day, because energy is there by the grace of God, I cleared a place, I cultivated it, I made heaps. That day, I planted cassava and maize. Do you know when I returned back to campus, I was coming to harvest maize. People at home were also harvesting maize. And later, I came back to harvest the cassava. I took it to Okela in Ado Ekiti to make garri. Ekiti State is a blessed place that young people can really make money if you are ready and focused in doing something. Then I made the garri. The mama that make the garri, you only give them some portion of the garri, and the remaining one, I carried it to my house. And I wrote on the gate of my house, garri for sale. And people came knocking my door. After I finished selling that garri, a day work, as at that time, more than 2 decades now, I made 4,000 naira from that garri, a day work. Then immediately Holy Spirit fed me with an idea of sending to Idoile, where they produce garri, and some other villages in Ekiti State, to be importing garri to Ado and be selling quality garri to people that will need it. By now I know from government office, from outside country, they will have been calling me to that they want to buy garri. So I will only advise the youth that want to do any business. You should look into that business, create a vacuum, that if you are not available in that immediate community, they will not be able to run that business successfully except they see you. Then you are focused on how to develop what you want to do. But make sure you create a vacuum. That if it is driving school, if they come meeting, they don't see his wisdom, the vacuum is not yet filled. They must call his wisdom to be in the meeting. If it is garri you want to be selling, if they don't see you among garri seller, they have to wait for you. If it is pure water, if they don't see you in their meeting, and not that alone, as you create vacuum that must be filled by you, by the help of Almighty God, you are focused in developing that thing you want to do. And mind you, this one will be very funny. In that same business, keep developing others, keep producing others. I have the only driving school in Ekiti State that has produced other 5 accredited driving schools. When you work with me for 3-5 years, I ask you to go and establish your own. I will support you. Present your paper to FRSC for accreditation. You will not be an hindrance to me to grow, but you will only challenge me to do more as you are growing. My children in the business are growing in Ekiti State. I'm also growing.
Wow, I can attest to that. I can attest to that. Thank you so much for your wealth of experience and for sharing some of the things you've shared so far concerning your business. And I know you are not just a successful business owner alone. You are also a great family man. I know, you are someone who inspire a lot of people when it comes to family and, religion and, relationship with God. And I just wanted to ask if you want to talk about, combining business with family, because, a lot of issues that young people these days face when it comes to dealing with family and business is that they don't know how to manage both to be able to be successful on both ends. Because sometimes we young people tend to focus more on our work because we want to be the one that we want to, be responsible. We want to be responsible family men, right? We want to be responsible for ourselves. We want to be able to provide for our family. And because of that, we focus too much on our work, and that way, and one should not be affecting the other. So I want to ask you, as someone who is also a family man of, as you have a beautiful wife and two great children, I want to say, how have you been able to manage this to be able to make sure one doesn't affect the other? Yeah.
Family itself is a business in which a good man must not fail. If your family fail, you may likely fail in the public. So, for the young ones, I will give this advice. As a man that have interest in growing business, business is very good. I want to say this, it's becoming a global statement that if you are a salary earner, you may not be wealthy because you know how much you earn in a month. So it means for a young growing mind, you should be thinking of what you are doing, what you can do very well in business to become a wealthy person, because God wants you to be wealthy. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, God is the one that gives us power to make wealth.
Yes.
Then, as I have said earlier, family, you must not fail, because family itself is a business in which you must not fail. Now, I will advise the young ones, you have to be ready before you go into marriage. That's number one thing. Don't rush into marriage. You knew quite well when I got married that people were saying I did it late. No, it was not late. I was taking my time. So youth should not rush into marriage. But they should not be late. But they should not rush into marriage. The Bible recommendation about business is that you first of all build your business even before you build your home. So I may want to advise the youth, build yourself and your business first, then you go into marriage. And don't just go into any marriage. Learn so much about marriage before you go into it. Because if you have a failing marriage or family, it will make your business to fail, even if you have built it earlier. So for me as a person, I told you the business I'm doing was given to me by Jesus. He's the owner of his wisdom. Either the driving school, the building construction company, anyone is the owner. So now with his wisdom, it was not difficult to first of all obey the scripture that say I should build my business first. To this extent, we are still building. But with his permission, we took it to a level that can fit 1, 2, 3 persons before I now went into marriage. My staffers, my boys, some of them were getting married before me. I was not moved. I was actively and joyfully participating, supporting them. But then I knew the business has not grown enough to take care of 2, 3 other persons. So I have to wait till that time. So young people should develop their business first, take it to a level before they go into family life. And when they now get into family life, marriage is a serious cause. They must invite Jesus into it. So managing marriage with business will not be a problem. But one thing is that they must be ready also to be close to their family, because business needs time, family needs time. So they should give the two a very good attention.
Wow. Thank you so much. You've said you've made a lot of points from the little you just said, and I know everyone watching this will be grabbing 1 or 2 things from that. And I thank you for that. I want to talk about the driving culture in Ekiti State. We know a lot of states have different driving culture, and some states are very safe when it comes to driving. Some states are very clean when it comes to driving. Some states are very fast when it comes to driving. How would you describe the driving culture in Ekiti State as someone who owns a business in driving, and also a trainer, an instructor, and also someone who just drives around the city of Ado Ekiti, which is the capital city of Ekiti State? What would you say the driving culture in Ekiti State is to anyone listening right now?
Thank you so much, my brother. Like, you know, Ekiti State to be for education. It's not difficult for us to grab things when they teach us. So I want to appreciate Ekiti people in that aspect. But if you now go by the interpretation and the definition of the geographical zone, Ekiti simply means undulating area. So it take a driver from Oyo State, Ogun State, Lagos State to be extra careful when you are in Ekiti State, where in some village you can go 3 streets and climb 3 mountains. So Ekiti people, being educated people, the culture of driving in Ekiti State is fair. Ekiti people are really trying. And the rate of accident is minimal in Ekiti State. So I want to applaud Ekiti people for listening to what Federal Road Safety Nigeria is preaching. All the 16 local government of Ekiti State in driving culture, Ekiti State is trying. And the rate of accident is minimal, very, very minimal. Even though the zone, the whole state is undulating states. So God has been our keeper. And we are also playing our part to keep educating people every time on radio, on television, flyers, and free training. In fact, recently I was invited by Board of Internal Revenue Ekiti State to come and teach their drivers about driving education, safety education. I was in Ekiti State University of recent invited to come and teach them about safety education. So being educated state, by the grace of God, people are abiding with driving rules and regulation, and things are better. The culture of driving in Ekiti State is fair.
I know earlier we spoke about ease of doing business, and we also know that Ekiti State is a civil servant state, and which means you're going to be dealing more with government, with civil servants, and government people, the politicians, and all that. Two questions. I know it's been a long time since you've been doing this, and you spent a lot of years doing this. How would you say the business has been improving in the area of getting more clients that are even beyond just government workers or even private business owners too in Ekiti?
Thank you, my brother. I've told you, packaging and strategy is what we call business. It is one thing to be doing same business. It's another thing to know how to package it. Like I said, we have the only driving school on radio and television in Ekiti State. It's a way of educating people, not for people to come and patronize his wisdom driving school alone, like I always say, but for them to know about the importance of going to driving school to learn how to drive. So if I advertise and 10 people are able to hear the message, 7 or 8 of them can come to his wisdom, all others can still go to elsewhere. So, but to make sure that both government workers, business owners, farmers, and all citizens of Ekiti State are aware of importance of safety education. So we keep going everywhere, doing our best, using the proceeds of the business, the profit we are making, to re-educate the people. Paying the radio for radio time, like I said, about his wisdom driving school on air. Going on radio to tell the people, we go on television, we are even approach government. Sometimes we send proposal to government, give us space. I remember there was a governor that time, they allowed us on Ekiti State Broadcasting Service, both radio and television, free time for interview, telling people about safety of going to driving school. By doing that, by having interest to save people's life and making the state safe, you are also increasing your patronage. Because people that hear about it will send their children, 18, 19, 20 years, to go and learn. And some of them will come to our driving school. So when you love others, whatever you are doing will be increasing. So love of educating people in Ekiti State, sensitizing people, packaging strategy in the business is helping us. Things are getting better.
Wow, great. And also, when it comes to working with government, how would you say the current administration has helped in improving the ease of doing business and also helping businesses like yours in the state?
Thank you so much, my brother. Like I said the other time, I told you, I said, to me, the meaning of Ekiti, E-K-I-T-I, is internal king, is their instructor.
Yes.
You will see on the flag of done of recent by the state governor. All other past governors were there. So Ekiti State is a unique state. If you have good mind and you are doing business in Ekiti State, people will even think it's owned by government. Because I've been one interview on radio, they asked me, is it government driving school? I said, no, God owns it. But God ruleth, I told them that day, that Daniel chapter 4 verse 25 says, God ruleth in the affairs of men. So anywhere God is allowed, there will be peace, there will be harmony, there will be unity. By the grace of God, I've told you, I said I trained governor's son, former governor's son, almost all government that have been coming to Ekiti State have been allowing us to come and have impact in sensitizing. I've told you of a senator playing a role during the launching of this book that will aid safety on the road. So in Ekiti State, we've been working hand in glove with the government because they know that truly this person is with a genuine heart, not because I want money, but making sure that there is safety in all the 16 local government, all the 3 senatorial districts of Ekiti State is safe, that our road is safe. So it has been a very nice atmosphere. And to talk about the present governor, since I have told you all the past governors, they were together by the grace of God. I'm not a politician, but by the grace of God, because the little I'm doing is for the safety of the land. They be helping, they be allowing us. But the unique testimony about the present government is that in the whole state, I have the only driving school that just got grants from a program head by the present administration called Ekiti Cares through World Bank. His wisdom driving school were able to get some amount of money to fund our staff and to rebuild our school environment. So by the grace of God, government in the past, present, and we believe in future, no problem, since our interest is for safety of our road in Ekiti State, we work hand in glove. And the present government, to the best of my knowledge, by the grace of God, is doing wonderfully well.
Great. I'm happy to hear that the government is doing their part in supporting businesses, and even not just yours that is big, even the smaller ones too. And lastly, I just want you to, I know you've already, anyone listening already knows what you do and they know about your business already. But just in 1 minute or two, can you sell your business again to anyone who is listening, to our viewers?
And by the grace of God, like I said, I have a lot of businesses. I own a lot of offices in the state. In a little way that can help the peace and progress of Ekiti State, I teach people by the grace of God. I run business as the CEO, GMD of His Wisdom Driving School. Like I said, I work partly with Red Cross. I am finance director of Nigerian Legion, Corps of Commissioner Ekiti State. By the grace of God, former training officer of ICPC NAPC Ekiti State chapter. And these are offices God has been helping me to help the society. But by the grace of God, leading me into driving school business, by the grace of God, like I told you, I've written a lot of books that can make people to pass their exam while going for examination of preparing to have a driver's license, making somebody a qualified and good driver. Not that alone, knowing the nitty-gritty of driving itself. And by the grace of God, His Wisdom Driving School, the headquarters is located at Tinola Junction, Federal Housing Estate, Afao Road, at Ekiti. While we have mobile campuses in Ekiti State University, Federal University Oye, we also operate branch office at Old Governor's Office, number 32, Okeoriomi, Old Governor's Office in Ado Ekiti. Then presently now, we just opened a new office at Civic Center, Awolowo Civic Center at Fajuyi, Ado Ekiti. And by the grace of God, since our target at first is Southwestern Nigeria, as I am talking to you, we have an office in University of Ibadan, and our main office in Oyo State at Ajibode, behind the school, Ajibode, beside maternity at Ajibode in Ibadan. Then we use Sasa Road and every other place around us as our field. So we operate in Ibadan, we operate in Ekiti State, and by the grace of God, our services, we teach people how to drive. We offer metro taxi for those that want to rent vehicle for wedding, for old people burial, celebration. Not that alone, we provide tourist guide. You want to go to Ogosi, you want to go to Egbe Dam, new places, you want to see the wonders of nature in Ekiti State being tourist corridor. As an expert in the field of tourism, we guide people when they come around Ekiti State. We also operate a mini business like Uber, cab for people. You come to the airport, we have a place in the airport. Anywhere you want to go within and outside the states, we have mini truck for your luggage. We have sport vehicle for your comfort. Then we have pilot car, security car for a kind of security trip to wherever you are going within and outside the state. Like I told you the other time also, I'm a writer. We have a lot of books you can read, not only on driving school that is professional. We have motivational book like 7 Goals to Outstanding Success in all field. We write motivational book, spiritual literatures, and not that alone. In the frontage of our headquarters office at Tinuola Junction, plot 6, block 12, Tinuola Junction, Housing Estate, Afa Road, Ado Ekiti. We sell car, we buy car from those that have been using their cars. Then we also do swapping. We buy, we sell, we swap. You want to buy a car, we help you get your choice, your quality you want. Then you want to sell your car, we buy from you. Then you want to swap. You are using a car, you want to change to another one, we do swap. What's more, by the permission of the Almighty God. If anybody want to call me, you can reach me on the 080 61 34 35 04. 080 61 34 35 04. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will put all other details also on the screen. Thank you so much for joining, and I wish you all the best on your endeavors, sir. And thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
All right. Before we continue, I want to ask that you please do one thing for me. This is the only way you can support this channel. It is free of charge, no money involved. Just click on the subscribe button below and subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on the subscribe button below if you've not done so already, and support this channel and help us grow. It really means a lot to me. I'm just going to give you a second to do that. All right. Thank you so much for doing that.